Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on White Coats and Corgis. Today I'm going to show you a clip from the Premed Experience, which is a free event I created and hosted back in March 2023. The goal of this event was to connect pre-med students with admissions experts and make their advice a little bit more accessible. We talked with admissions committee members, deans of medical school admissions, and MCAT tutors. Today's clip is from our very last session of the day called Real Truth with Real Medical Students. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Everyone, good to see you all again, and thank you to our medical students for joining. Again, I'm Dan. I am a second year internal medicine resident, and I'll be moderating the panel. So I'll be looking for questions in the Q&A portion below. But first, again, I want to thank our medical students for joining us, and I'm going to go one by one, and you just introduce yourself if you can, and tell us what year you're in and maybe what specialty you're interested in. And the first person I see here is Angela.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. My name is Angela Rakowski. I'm a rising third year. I'm at Rush in Chicago, and I'm currently interested in OBGYN or neurology, keeping an open mind. Definitely very excited for rotations.
Awesome. Next, I see Brooke.
Yeah, hey y'all, Brooklyn. I am a fourth year medical student. Cannot believe it. So on edge with match next week. I'm in Texas, and I also am finishing up my MPH during medical school, so that might be relevant to someone. And I'm kind of revealing what I'm applying to soon, but it's more like primary care focus and trying to incorporate public health in my career.
Awesome. Next person I see is Zara.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm in South Florida. I'm a third year medical student, and I'm currently interested in emergency medicine, but it changes like every day. So stay tuned.
Fair. And the last person I see here is Kinza.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kinza. I'm a fourth year medical student. I'm actually here in Massachusetts, and I am applying psychiatry.
Brooke, I have a question here that that's being asked by Dakai about what's something you wish someone would have told you before you pursued a career in medicine, right? Because it's sort of like this long journey. And at some point we say, okay, we're doing it. We're applying to medical school. We want to become doctors. What's something you wish someone would have told you beforehand?
Yeah, I think that's really valuable. I think it's important. I wish someone would have, maybe told me to, really break down your why of medicine, like the different characteristics of it. And even then it's like, you want to work with patients, right? Okay, what does that mean? Do you want to be connected to people? Do you want to talk one-on-one? Do you want to serve people? Like, even then, I would really break it down to its skeleton and make sure that you're exploring potential other careers that could fulfill that criteria. Because at the end of the day, I think it would be ignorant to ignore this kind of like, yeah, sometimes social media paints it negatively, but at the end of the day, like as a whole in society, I feel like going into medicine is something very, renowned and like looked up to, and it would be ignorant to think that that is not impacting all of us and having us have this bias one way or the other. And so I think it's important with a career like this to be extra intentional that you're exploring your other options, and also be sure to like kind of think about the trajectory of what things will look like financially, right? And so medicine, unlike some other fields, is that if you get to kind of that fourth year point and you realize then that maybe it's not for you, you might be so deep in debt that it might feel like you don't have any other option but to move forward. And I say this to be a realist, because honestly, right now in fourth year, they're like telling us all these things where I'm like, I feel like y'all should have told us this like before starting, and it feels a little sneaky, but maybe that's just me. And so just be mindful of that. Think about the trajectory, right? Like it seems kind of like a decision in the moment, but this is something that you're committing to. And like, yes, in theory, you can leave it, right? But if you are so, ingrained, if you're so in debt, it's really not going to feel like an option to leave it. And so I say that just to say, just to be extra sure and to make sure you're being in touch with that positive bias that many of us in society have. Other than that, I think just kind of, I wish someone maybe would have told me kind of to me, I thought one of the most challenging parts is really navigating socially, especially when it comes to attendings and like fellows and residents, you know, especially because if y'all didn't know, like on rotations, like every 3 days you could have a different person like monitoring you or determining stuff. And that's really hard, like emotionally to navigate if you have like any ounce of like social anxiety, I feel like. And so I wish like that would have been talked about a little bit more and maybe like more skills for it. But those are some things that come to mind.
So then the next question I have is for Kinza here, and it comes from an anonymous attendee, but what advice would you give your freshman undergrad self? What would you do if you can go back in this whole process and have a chance to redo it as a freshman?
That's an awesome question. The first thing that came to my mind that I would redo is I entered freshman year of college with the goal that I wanted to go to medical school one day. So I did start like volunteering early on. So definitely try to do that with whatever organization you want to be a part of. If you don't want to volunteer in a hospital, that's okay. Just find some type of organization, pursue some passion of yours through that and start volunteering early. Something I would change though is I thought, you know, like to get into medical school, I had to do a ton of research. I thought I had to get publications in order to get in. So I did treat my resume a little bit like a checklist. I was like, I need to get research. I need to get multiple positions. I need multiple papers. And after doing like 7 years to 8 years of research from the start of college to where I am now, I have definitely discovered that I hate doing research. I didn't enjoy like any of it besides maybe one research position I had in infectious disease. So if I could go back, I would do more clinical work. I would be honest with myself and be like, okay, I really don't enjoy research. So like maybe I could take a course and like become an EMT instead, or, you know, do CNA a little bit more. I had gotten my certification, but I didn't really pursue it as much. So I would change that if I could go back. I wouldn't do all that research. I would have done stuff that I would have enjoyed more.